Hello there, my lovely jewelry makers. I'm Christina of CSLdesigns, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to oxidize your jewelry. So I'm going to take you through the process of how I like to do it. Now, oxidizing your jewelry basically means purposely adding a tarnish to it that's going to give it an antique finish. And to be able to add patina to your pieces, you need to make sure to use a non-coated wire. For instance, I used a bare copper wire to make the pieces in this video, but something like a sterling silver wire would also work great. So if you want to learn how you can oxidize your pieces, then keep watching. So firstly, I'm just going to go through all the tools and materials that we're going to need, because we need to have them all handy before we get started. First, we need 3 tubes for our different solutions. Now I'm using these plastic food tubs that I won't be using for food after this, and they're not too big and not too small, but fit the jewelry just nicely. And then I have a wooden skewer. Now this is just to mix our solutions together, so you can really use anything that you have handy for this. To handle the jewelry while oxidizing it, I'm using these disposable gloves because you don't want to touch it with your bare fingers, as that will affect your results. Now this is just what I prefer to use because I like using my hands, but you can also use some tweezers, tongs, or even some scrap wire to handle the jewelry. And then we have a toothbrush. Now this is just a cheap toothbrush that I'm not going to use to brush my teeth with again. It's really good for cleaning the jewelry though, getting in all those nooks and crannies because of the bristles, so make sure to keep it just for this. And for the cleaning as well, I'm going to just use some regular dish soap and mix it with water, and that's fine for cleaning up the jewelry before we oxidize it. Now for the oxidization, I'm using this liver of sulfur extended life gel. It's easy to work with and it's also great to store when not being used. Next comes baking soda. Now this might seem a bit odd, but it's actually a great abrasive to use once we've oxidized our pieces. So to take the polishing even further, I'm going to use these polishing pads here to really help emphasize the contrast in the patina that we added to the pieces. And finally, I have a polishing cloth, which is going to add shine to our pieces and help prevent further tarnishing down the line. So now it's time to put all the materials to use and start oxidizing our pieces. Now I'm going to be working by the sink, and I recommend you have all your materials ready before we start. So first we'll grab one of our plastic tubs and fill it with lukewarm water so it's comfortable to work with, and this is going to be our bath to clean our pieces before we start oxidizing them. Then we need to add some dish soap to our water, and it doesn't have to be too much. And I'm then grabbing one of my skewers to mix it together. You just want to mix it until all the soap has dissolved into the water. So now our bath is ready to start cleaning our pieces, so I'm just going to grab the first bracelet here and put it into the bath to soak it. And I also have my toothbrush because I'm going to use that to scrub the bracelet clean. Like I mentioned, the bristles are really good to get into all the nooks and crannies of the piece. And then as you can see, it starts to foam up nicely. Now notice that I'm wearing a disposable glove on one of my hands, and it's the hand that I'm touching the jewelry with. The reason for this is to prevent fingerprints and oils from our skin to get onto the jewelry, because that would compromise the oxidization further on. Now make sure you clean the whole piece, including places that you wouldn't necessarily think of, like the back of it. So once we've cleaned the piece thoroughly, we need to rinse all the soap off, so I'm running it under the tap until all the soap is gone. And again, make sure you don't forget any part of the piece, as we don't want any soap on there when we start oxidizing. When it's done, I put my piece on a kitchen towel that I laid ready before we started. And I'm still only handling the jewelry wearing a disposable glove. Then you grab your next piece and clean that in the same way, and just place them on the kitchen towel when you're done. Now continue till you've done your whole batch, and just leave them under kitchen towel to air dry, and still make sure you don't touch them. So then I have some freshly washed, clean and shiny bracelets that are now just waiting to be oxidized. Now while I was waiting to do the next step, for some reason I felt the need to play with the toothbrush, and yes, there was also original sound effects, but I had the TV on so I couldn't leave that in, unfortunately. And I actually forgot that I did this until I started editing the video, so that was a fun surprise. But anyway, back to the jewelry, and we've now reached the fun part where we need to start oxidizing all our pieces. So back to the sink we go, and I'm grabbing a new plastic tub and filling that again with lukewarm water. And this is going to be a neutralizing bath, so that means we need to get a baking soda out. So I'm taking about a tablespoon or so, adding it into the water, and then just mixing it with the spoon until the baking soda has dissolved and we can't see it anymore. I then push this towards one side of the sink just so we have some space to make our oxidization solution. So we grab another tub, and this has to be filled with warm water as that's what activates the liver of sulfur. I then place this next to our neutralizing bath, making sure there's some space between so there's no contamination while we're working with it. To the warm water, add your liver of sulfur. Now I added about 4 drops or so, but it depends on the quantity of the solution you're making. I then grab a clean skewer to mix it together. Now you want to mix it until it's all dissolved and your water has become a strong yellow colour and your mixture is ready to go. So now it's time to oxidize the pieces that were previously cleaned. So I'm grabbing my first bracelet wearing a fresh disposable glove and I'm dropping it into the liver of sulfur solution. Now I'm doing this first piece in real time to show you how long it takes, as it's actually quite a quick process. And you can then see the oxidization happening in real time. So what you can see me doing is dropping the piece into the solution and then leaving it for a bit. I then pull it out to have a look at how it's coming along, but then also you'll see me occasionally flip it over to make sure the oxidization goes on all sides and in all nooks and crannies of the bracelet. And this is basically what I keep doing, and every time I pull the bracelet out you can actually see the bracelet getting gradually darker and darker. And this is the oxidization process taking place, and the longer you leave it in, the darker it will get, and it will actually get to the point where it's pretty much black. Now this is actually a process that would happen to the metal naturally over a long period of time, but using this technique speeds it up dramatically and also offers a lot more control. So as you can see, my bracelet is getting near enough black, but that's not how I'm going to leave it. I'm going to end up giving it a completely different look. I'm going to go through that later in the video. But for now, the first step is adding the oxidization. So now that I'm happy with how dark my bracelet's gotten, I'm just going to let it drip off into the solution, then bring it over into the baking soda mixture, and this stops the process of the liver of sulfur solution from developing any further. So as you can see, this process for the first piece didn't really take that long, as the liver of sulfur solution really makes the process go rather quickly. And then to continue, I just grab my next piece and basically repeat the exact same thing. Now I make sure to only let my hand with the disposable glove go into the liver of sulfur solution, and then when I drop my piece into the neutralizing bath with the baking soda, I do not let the glove touch that mixture. Because if I did, then this would mix the two solutions together when bringing the pieces from one to the other and create a cross-contamination. Because what would happen is the baking soda mixture would start to neutralize the liver of sulfur solution and it would lose the oxidizing effect, and we don't want that to happen until we're actually done using it. And this is also why I like to oxidize my pieces in batches, so I don't just take 1 or 2 pieces to oxidize. I like to collect a larger amount and do it in larger batches like this. Because once you mix the liver of sulfur solution, it has a limited lifespan and starts to degrade instantly. And you'll find as the water cools down, it'll become less and less effective. Then once we've finished oxidizing all our pieces, place them on a kitchen towel and leave them to air dry. And while we're waiting for that, we could always get the toothbrush back out. Now I'm just going to go back to my 2 mixtures and pour a bit of the baking soda solution into the liver of sulfur solution. This neutralizes it and they can now both be poured down the drain. Once your piece is finished drying, you can see we've ended up with near enough black jewellery, and you can safely touch them with your bare fingers, which we will be doing now that we reach the polishing stage. That basically means we're going to highlight the textured areas by removing the oxidization from the high points of the pieces. And to do that, we're going to use a light abrasive, which is where the baking soda comes back in. So I'm adding a bit of it, maybe about a tablespoon or so, into my hand, and what we're going to do is then add a few drops of water so it kind of creates a bit of a paste. Now don't worry so much about the amount that you made, because we can always make more of this, but you want it to be a nice texture, so not too runny and also not too thick. So you can see I'm just adding a little bit of water at a time, just so it's nice to work with. Once we then have our baking soda paste to the texture that we like, we bring in our first piece of jewellery and we simply start rubbing this all over. So you use your fingers, especially your thumbs, and you basically rub this back and forth on the piece of jewellery, and it will actually take off some of the oxidization on the high points. And as we keep rubbing, you'll start to see some of the original wire showing through, and that's how we achieve an antique look. Once you rubbed over as much of the oxidization as you can, just using your fingers, we then run it under the tap again to get rid of the excess baking soda paste. And you then just repeat the process, so you just mix another portion of the baking soda paste and start rubbing that to get the oxidization from the high points of your next piece of jewellery. To then take the polishing one step further and get even more of a contrast in the piece, we then need to bring in our polishing pads. And you literally just buff the polishing cloth all over your piece of dry jewellery, and it almost acts as a very fine sandpaper by really bringing out the original wire even more. So you end up getting an even higher contrast between the original wire and the oxidized parts. And of course, like all the other steps, make sure you don't forget about any parts including the back of the piece. And as you can see, this part does get a little bit messy, because the oxidization that we're buffing off using the cloth obviously has to go somewhere, so you can see the cloth itself is getting kind of dirtier looking, and it will also go on your fingers, but it's no problem, you can just wash them after. So just keep buffing away at your piece until you're happy with how it looks, and remember you can use both sides of the polishing pad, and whenever you used it up, just switch to a new one. Now a little tip that I like to use as well is, for instance, when I have a bracelet like the one in the video that has a lot of nooks and crannies and corners that's hard to get the polishing pad into, I like to fold it over once and sometimes twice to get a more rigid area of the polishing pad, and you can then really get into the corners and nooks and crannies that you couldn't get otherwise. Now the final step that I then like to do is use a jewellery polishing cloth to kind of seal everything in place. So firstly, it adds a lovely shine to your piece, but also it actually adds a coating that helps prevent further tarnishing down the line, and of course you can always use these polishing cloths whenever you feel it's needed. And it's the same principle, you literally just rub this all over in all the nooks and crannies to really seal in everything. Remember the back and the clasp as well. So the pieces are now finished being oxidized and they're ready to wear. So to recap, set up all your materials and tools before you start. Clean and oxidize your pieces in batches to get the most out of your solutions. And when you're happy with your result, seal it in place using a polishing cloth. So this is then the whole process of how I oxidize my jewellery. Now I have a bracelet here where the right side is completely oxidized and the left side is fully polished, so you can really see the difference. And then I have two of the same bracelet where I use anti-tarnish copper wire so it's nice and bright for one, and bare copper wire and then oxidized it for the other. Now I do just want to mention that when you work with liver or sulfur, it has a very strong scent to it. It's not toxic to work with, but I do recommend that you work in a well ventilated area. Personally, I don't find it too bad, but it could be rather unpleasant if you're more sensitive to it. Now I've also made a post to go along with this video where everything will be written out, and it's going to be on my website, and you'll find the link straight to it in the description box down below. Now you'll also find the material list and any links you might need in the description box. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video for how to oxidize your jewellery and found it helpful. Please feel free to share it. Thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.